TGIF Warriors, which stands for Thank God I Found ForexAnalytix. Who agrees with me? Blake, how are you? Leo is here. Leo Hart is with us, a new guest, first appearance. I guess he wants to listen to our ramblings before he comes on in a half an hour. Specializes in Bitcoin. Perfect time to have someone, a Bitcoin specialist, with us. How you doing, Mike, James, Bran? How are you, Marcus? Hi, Ryan, Ingmar, AJ. Okay, okay, all right, RC. Okay, everyone, let's go to work. So Paul spoiled the party yesterday, and we had, had a little bit of a rally going in the currencies. And Paul's mouth is shut today, so so that's what it looks like. It's underway. Ryan bought the bottom yesterday, and I don't know what you did when Powell came out, but um, it's pretty interesting how things had shifted overnight in the end. So maybe this was it short term in the dollar. I don't think term that's it. I think that the first break to 570, which about 70 pips from here, will be supported at the breakout. Plus, you have confluence with some moving averages here. And yesterday, I talked about the metals were due for a pop. Silver came very close to this long-term line. 32 is viable to me for this recovery, and that would probably spell lower for US dollar yen, lower for yields, and gold weaker than silver. And even though we're heading down, the gold silver ratio is on the verge of breaking down out of the short term formation, which is saying that even if gold declines to 24 and silver to 28, 27, that the gold silver ratio is going to move in favor of silver. So, Ryan, are you glad it's Friday?
Oh, yeah. Am
Oh
I?
man, didn't yesterday feel like Friday? So, getting a
Felt
little
like that on
bit of a
Monday.
relief, getting a little bit of a relief bounce. It could have legs. I was thinking, I don't think this is going to be a major bottom. Do you?
Time will tell. Time
Okay,
will tell.
that's
It was a
true.
major bottom a year ago.
105 was. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was kind of thinking before it was over, and I thought this like um, months ago. What once the dollar turned up, that euro could get down to this line, and that's coming in 103-ish, low 103s. So I mean,
Yeah.
it's done nothing positive on the week unless we have a big day today. That's not such a great weekly signal. Blake called out earlier, just to show you what we have in the chat room. Um, One of the members in there talked about this outside week down in euro. That would mean down simply what happened. So, what are you doing here today, Brian? Are you just kind of calling it a week?
Well, I'm managing what I've got. Still long dollar CAD. Managed to add to that yesterday afternoon at 140.10 and get a bit away in the upside moves. So
Yeah.
that's still going. Yeah, I think you're right. Powell seems to have put a bit of a pause on the move in yields, the move in dollar.
It's going
It was
it's
one of,
going bipolar on us again.
yeah, he's
Wasn't
doing
it?
the old flip flop.
I mean, he did mission accomplished on the half a point cut,
Yeah,
and now he's taking the punch bowl away for a little while.
yeah, it looks like it. It's put yields away from that 4.5% in tens, which I've been banging on about for the last few weeks. So we've had a little pull back away from that level. Still not not out the woods. And the same for a lot of pairs. Going back to euro dollar, yeah, 105 is a big key level, but we're still bearish while we're under 105.90, 106.10.
Okay.
So we're well within dead cat territory for that cable, Aussie dollar, Kiwi dollar, you name it. They're all looking the same on the, look at the 15-minute chart, intraday chart. It's all looking the same. So until we start getting back over some of these breakdown points, busting the series of lower lows, it's still looking bearish. And, I say that even while that's against my position, because, it's like, Dale, you've got to be objective. You've got to look at what could go wrong, not what could go right.
Well, we've had a little bit of a pullback here in S&Ps. We have a reversal week. I don't know if that's it or not. I couldn't short it because the 4-hour kept me out of it because the 4-hour was confirming up here. So I always have a hard time catching tops as they're just slow rolling tops, but doesn't look great. What do you think? Another shot up? Is this a break to buy? Don't we need a little bit of dollar weakness and yields? If yields come in, I could see another new high. And this time, the 4-hour, I doubt will confirm, even if we went to 6,100, which is what I was waiting for. So,
Yeah.
maybe it was close enough for government work here at 60.30. Obviously, it was for a trade, 100 handles. What are you
Well,
thinking about risk?
yeah, well, I was looking at the S&P yesterday, and looking at my short-term charts, I like to sort of draw the picture as it's developing. And I showed 60.14 up top and 59.65 down below as the range over the last couple of days. I said you got to go with a break either side, and we
Okay.
broke to the downside.
Yeah.
A couple of people, I think, got on the short side in that move, so that's good news. But the next level here is down around those series of highs.
880.
Yeah.
Brian's talking
So
about this
yeah,
level.
I wouldn't
Okay.
touch it. I wouldn't touch it here. If you're short, that's where you want to get down to and take some profit. But we've got some real intraday levels. 59, 25, 30-ish. Now 59.40, little tiny levels that we've got tops of those candles, bottom of others. That's your little intraday levels, but until then it's either 58.75 or 59.65. That's your range. You don't need an opinion, you don't need a bias when you've
Okay.
got clear defined levels you can trade against.
Yeah,
Trade them or don't trade them.
and the leadership gave up even more. I mean, the Russell really got bought heavily after the election, kind of like it did a few months ago.
Yeah,
But we have confirmed highs. So and here we are at some moving averages. Um, we'll
a
see.
nice gap to close.
Yeah, a lot of gaps. There's a gap in that gas that I didn't think it would try and fill. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. Maybe it's just the most bullish thing a market could do with gaps like this is pull back, maybe eat into it a little bit, but not close it. Okay, so
Yeah,
this can be a great buying opportunity in that gas, and you get out if they fill it under 240. Because if they fill it, there's something else going on. That
yeah,
meant that this was just news related, short covering, whatever it was. But I would change my tune in that gas back on a gap fill.
yeah.
uh,
Have a look at copper. Have a look
yeah,
at copper today.
copper. Nick was buying copper. He called Blake
Yeah.
from the bowling alley and said, Blake, Blake, I just picked up a split and copper looks like a buy down here. So nice trade, Nick.
Yeah,
Um,
nice, really
s-
nice one.
yeah,
Yeah, he,
so
he he really called that one. He called that one well.
yeah, so you know, what are you thinking going into the weekend here, Blake?
Well, I guess it depends where we close today following the well, if we're talking currencies, it depends where things fall by the end of the day. We with retail sales, I don't know how big of a mover this is going to be unless it's a real miserable print, which I don't know. I mean, you guys know what I have to say about, betting against the US consumer. It's really tough to do. So, the dollar may close in fairly, strong territory. If the euro closes below 106, I think that keeps the dollar trend intact. You're right, Dale. The yen's actually showing a little bit of strength, but it's actually the lower end of the curve that's really on the move today. So it's something that we need to watch. But dollar yen hasn't broken any levels. I think at the beginning of this week we were looking at the
We
dollar
were
yen at
here.
one. Yeah, we were at 153 and change.
I
And
thought we were
here,
going to break down, and it held the Volga line.
yeah,
Like
I mean,
we have the Maginot line in World War One and Two, and we have the Volga line into the new administration. So, yeah,
yeah, yeah, and it's I mean it's really still very much intact. And but I look at the dollar and I look at the euro, and here we are, closing in on 106. And I think it's going to be really choppy because we're at such critical levels of support on so many currencies. But I can't ignore the fact that the dollar CAD is still well above 140. Let's see if we can close above that today. Yeah, so I don't know. And equities, they're under a little bit of pressure, but we're back below 6,000. But is that, really to, do you start crying because of that? I don't know. I'm not quite there yet. So
well, you know what they say: the Bears feast on Thanksgiving and the Bulls on Christmas. So we'll see
there,
who
there
has a
you go.
good dinner in a few weeks.
Yeah, well, and you talk about like seasonality and stuff, and it's a lot of people expect the dollar to start weakening right now because this is typically a time of year seasonally wise that you start to see a lot of dollar weakness. We've discussed that over this week. Although it hasn't been prevalent thus far, but maybe it kicks off today. Maybe today is the day that we start seeing some dollar weakness come through the market.
Yeah, there are some people that said that that was enough up there. That 106. I know Grega was open to, he had a pretty big area, 107, 108. I still think 109. So, I think you have to fade dollar weakness here one more time.
You think
So,
so? We could end up getting some false breakouts. You want me to go ahead and take over the charts
yeah,
here?
go ahead. Yeah,
Yeah,
thank you
okay.
for
Like
saving me once again.
and we could end up getting a throw over too in your dollar index. So let me grab the charts. Here we go.
Oh, yeah, I forgot to stop. There
Let
you
me know when
go.
you can see my charts.
Got you.
Okay. So yeah, again, the euro's bouncing back to 106. This is pretty key because what we haven't been able to do, and if you guys just notice, there's previous support, couldn't get
Yeah.
above it, failed, and here we are again, previous support, we're there right now. So if this retail sales number comes in strong and people think about what Fed Chair Powell had to say yesterday, like, about rates and how he feels about lowering rates any further, we could end up just trading right back down to 105 and change, like 105.50, and then the downtrend remains intact. But looking at the dollar index, been staring at this more as a channel. You can see there's channel support, channel resistance, and we broke through it, broke out to the upside, but we got a false breakout and maybe a throw over. I'm not convinced about that yet. Give me by the end of the day, but we are nearing the upper end of this big range in the dollar index as a whole. So it's it's hard to be bearish, but at the same time, one of the ways I look at this is the dollar's too strong to be shorted, but it's also, you know,
You
too
feel that
strong
kind of late
to
that
fade.
that we could be through 2/3 of the move.
Yeah, I
Even if we're
mean,
going, that's makes it tough to, just launch here and get long dollars.
I got a separate note from Mark Chandler. Most of you guys know Mark. He sent me an email this morning, and he sent me more than just this. But I'll read this to you guys here. And if you're in the chat room, there's a little freebie for you. Mark Chandler from Bannockburn. He's like, I just want to read you this one little piece here. Um, uh, there seems to be little in the near-term horizon that will stem the dollar's rally. What made Japanese interventions appear successful in 2022 and again in 2024, July of this year, was that the dollar sales coincided with near-term peak in U.S. Treasury yields. Given the rates and interest rate differentials, it's difficult to argue that fundamental consideration does not warrant a strong dollar. And he goes on to talk about the different economies, and there's more to the note than that. That's just what I shared in the ForexAnalytix chat room. But the reason why I say all that is because you look at yields. Here's the yield differential. This is the Euro 2-year, US 2-year. This is K-Man brought this chart up. You can look at the 1 year as well. I think Chris Rustin looks at the one. We're seeing a bounce here, but look at U.S. yields versus or Euro yields versus U.S. yields. This is still a downward trajectory, and this is from a couple of weeks ago, and this is since the election. And yeah, we're bouncing today, but it's just showing you that the euro should continue to stay relatively weak. And if you're a chart technician, that's a breakdown. So, buying euros right now doesn't really make a lot of sense to me for a lot of different reasons, but I understand how big of support this is. And I understand why, Ryan was playing the technical levels off of these lows. I just, for me to like pick up and just start buying euros and selling dollars and hanging on to it for the next couple of weeks doesn't make a lot of sense to me when you're looking at yield differentials.
Yeah, we have to break down to really completely clear out all the dollar bearishness. That ought to do
Yeah,
it. Breakdown and then wait for it to get back above the breakdown.
right.
Would be a way I would look at this. Get a breakdown. Maybe we go to 103, something like that. Anyway, we'll see.
Yeah, and maybe, and I was again, here's the thing, guys. And I'm gonna do a little ForexAnalytix sales pitch. If you're not in a room like this having conversations like these, like what we have in with other traders, and yes, I talk a lot of currencies, but you can be talking indices too, and you can, go talk about what's happening in the S&P and, chat with other traders how they feel about stocks, and the macro chat room, which is the Flowonomics room that Ryan is in. But I was talking to a trader, Adam, last night out of Australia, and we were talking about this, and I'm gonna share this information with you about the Canadian, because we were talking about the DSIs and how they're getting very extreme. And if you want to see the DSIs, you can see that we're not in quite single digits, but we're getting there. So Adam in Australia, he says, "Wowie, those are some extremes. Have you looked at the COT positioning on the dollar CAD? Pretty extreme last report, and imagine it'll be even more so when this report comes out. Once we get a reversal, it could be pretty swift." And I'm like, I agree. I'm thinking 142 to 144. See, these are conversations that I have with individuals in side threads that anybody can view. So you guys can go through and, read conversations that we're having. This is the COT data, and you can see how extreme this is. Leveraged money selling Canadian dollars. Okay, that's as extreme as it's ever been in the history of the COT data going back into the 1980s. So then you take that into account, but you go, okay, and he's like, "Yep, I see it too." And I'm like, "Yeah, but retail positioning is still 95% short dollar CAD." And he's like, "Yep, I see it too." And this is from eToro. his broker. And he's like 73% of retail's shorting dollar CAD. So you guys, you could answer the question for me. Who do you think is going to win? Is it going to be the hedge fund managers? I ultimately think the dollar CAD is going to turn lower, even though I'm long. But who's going to win this battle that's been being fought at 140? Is it going to be retail traders like us, or is it going to be institutional, money, fast money, hedge funds? They're leveraged mega short Canadian dollars. That means they're looking for probably 145 to 150 right now. And yet retail continues to stand in the way. So you guys, answer what you think is going to happen. And that's why, this dollar Canadian, if it breaks out above 140 and we close up here, just look at the technicals really fast. Here's a chart that just, now I did a video on it yesterday. You guys probably saw it I did a short video on this and I posted it. But yeah, look at this breakout. This is a weekly chart, Dale.
Yeah.
I mean, 2016, 2020. Is that uncharted territory? Is that somewhere we haven't been before? And is that somewhere, and this is the conversation that we were having yesterday in the chat room, because somebody was saying, well, when's the Bank of Canada going to step in and start to really, try to talk up their currency? I don't think they're going to be, I think they might shift from being really dovish to maybe more neutral, maybe to kind of stem some of the momentum if this really takes off. But it's not like it's someplace that we haven't seen in the last 8 years. It's not uncharted territory.
Yeah,
if the dollar
CAD
was trading at 160 up here, it might be a different story. Then the Bank of Canada might be starting to get a little concerned. But because we're in the mid, we're at 140 and we've been as high as 147 in the last 8 years, it's not, and they understand the weakness that they're taking in right now, and their economy is slowing down, and these high rates are biting, the real estate market, their consumers. They understand all that, so it's not anything that's crazy, that's out of the norm. So anyway, I just wanted to point this out because this is a really big technical breakout if we can close above 140 this week. So Ryan, do you have any thoughts about the Bank of Canada and how they might deal with this weakening currency? Is it really that weak?
Well, it's weaker than it has been in a fair few years. They don't seem to be anywhere close to stopping rate cuts. I think we had Goldman Sachs yesterday. They've upped their debt call to a 50 from a 25. See a lower terminal rate now, 2.25% from 2.5%. Will they moan about it? No, I don't think they will. Maybe if we're up at 145, 146, they'll start talking about it and the impact on the economy, inflation, and whatnot. So yeah, but at the moment, it's all about the dollar. It's not so much. Well, it has been Canadian weakness, but it's also been a lot of dollar strength, and they can't really do anything about that. The same as Japan can't do anything about dollar strength against the yen.
Yeah, they came out last night and Cato was is it keto or Cato, or is that a diet? Shit, I can't remember. Yeah. He was, yes, the yen's, firmed up a little bit, but that's more of a yield move. But yeah, like he's sitting there like, we're watching for big moves. Like what big moves? You're not seeing, yes, the dollar's moving up, the yen's moving down against the dollar, but look at the Aussie yen and the Kiwi yen over the last like couple months. They're not doing anything. There's the Aussie yen. Here's the Kiwi yen. Tell me there's rapid moves in yen right now. Here's the Euro yen stuck underneath the 200 DMA, by the way. There's no rapid yen depreciation at this point, not across the board. This is a dollar-based move, right?
Yeah, exactly that. And which makes it really dangerous for them, because they've got, to coin a phrase, no pot to piss in if they're trying to fight it, because Bank of Japan hiking is going to do nothing to the yen. So if we are about to see a real huge dollar trend taking place, or about to begin, be it Trump policies, better economy, whatever, there's little they can do about it. So we could be going back through those 162 highs and 170s, 180s. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, it could be like as you pointed out, if it's a dollar base move, which this is what we've seen thus far, that it could put the dollar yen a lot higher than it is. I mean, I've tried shorting the dollar yen on a few different occasions, and ain't working. I play the yen long against other currencies now, and it's working much better. So, and that's the way I think you have to continue to play it, and
And
not.
it's like Mark Chandler said, and as we've been saying, the BOJ caught moments with intervention when there was a turn in the market, be it the data, be it the Fed, the inflation top, the top of rates, and vice versa. So they got lucky with their prior intervention moves. I don't think they'll get as lucky this time around.
Yeah, great point. Hey, I see Steve is here, and we got retail sales in about 5 minutes, but I wanted to open the floor up to Steve and just ask, hey, Steve, are you well? Good morning, TGIF. Anything that you're seeing out here? I mean, we've seen gold sell off a little bit. You got any views on precious metals or anything that stands out that you want to get across by the end of the week here?
We're seeing some weakness in the dollar. We're seeing some weakness in equity. So in essence, we're seeing moves and we're seeing metals making an effort to rebound a little bit. So in essence, we're seeing a consolidation of what we had until yesterday, because I can't call half a day of opposite price action a reversal, right? If every day we had half a day of opposite price action called a reversal, then there would be no trend ever.
Right, exactly.
So I'm not reading too much into it. I mean, nothing moves in a complete straight line. The market needs to take a breather in order for me to start considering that there is something more in the works here other than, the market consolidating a little bit the prior moves. I can't read anything more than that. I mean, It's a Friday. It's the middle of the month. This might, continue for a couple more days, but all in all, I think the path of least resistance remains exactly what it was. For the time being, the dollar should continue to do very well. Equities should continue to do very well, and precious metals, for the time being, are in trouble. They've broken through some major levels. And I think there is a good chance especially gold, after having a monstrous year, it's in need of probably a deeper correction. Nothing strange with that either.
Yeah, so I mean, you're looking at gold, and Dale, I know you've talked about 2,400 in gold, and you think that's a possibility. Do you guys think that gold could actually reach for like 2,200 or maybe even 2,000 if this dollar just continues higher? I mean,
I would consider 2,000 to be a very far-fetched target. Is it impossible? No, it isn't, but I think it's unlikely. For me, the first target in sight is the previous all-time high, which acted several times as support after we broke through it, which is at 2473. So my focus was at 2600 as a first support. Now that we've gone through it, my next target in sight is 2473.
Got it. All right. We got about a minute before this data comes out. Dale, you have any final thoughts here about anything that we've had a discussion about?
I don't see myself doing anything today, Blake. I do think that I agree with Steve that this pullback in the dollar should be bought. That I don't think we'll see 105.70 today, but I'd like to try it closer to that range than here. So maybe that'll be, there for a trade on Monday or Tuesday.
All right, very good. I want to, after we do these retail sales, I do want to talk about what's happening next week, because we do have some pretty important data coming out next week that's going to really suggest this U.S. exceptionalism story is still valid or not, and we'll talk about that here in just a few seconds. But the data is coming out in 5 seconds. Here we go. All right, hang on your hats or hang on your shorts or. All right. Oh, that's strong data.
A little bit, bit soft. Hot on the headline, down on the ex-gas, ex-autos, and control groups. I call that
Empire
soft data.
State manufacturing data. The Empire State was really strong. Wow. All right. A little mixed signals here. Not a lot, but you said core retail sales. That is a little softer. So I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen here. What do you guys do with that? Nothing?
Probably
It's
the
Friday.
retail overshadows the Empire, despite that being a really good read.
Yeah, that was a really.
I was saying this on the Flow show the last couple of days. October's a weird month because you've got, obviously we had the weather, the storms, but it's also the month before we get the big sales events, Thanksgiving and Christmas. So, if people are feeling a little bit pinched, have they held off purchases, to grab something in the sales and whatnot? So it's a bit of a funny month these days.
Yeah, it's a good point, Brian. Hey, next week, I just want to look at real quick.
Letting you know, Blake, that I do have a guest today.
Okay. Yep.
Right, just letting you know.
He's new here to F.A.C.E.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So I'm not going to take up much more time. I just want to mention next week we have Canadian CPI. We have our normal, unemployment claims and all that other stuff. We have UK CPI, Canadian CPI. But we also have PMIs next week, and it's US and European and also, UK PMIs. So that's where that US exceptionalism story, traders are going to be looking towards that next week. And just be careful how we close today in the dollar, because remember, the euro's turning lower pretty quick right now. And that's a bit of a risk, if you're long dollars, or excuse me, if you're trying to short dollars here, playing the euro off of the support. Sterling just slumped like literally about 25 pips just now. So keep your head on a swivel. Remember, check out ForexAnalytix. It's $1 for 10 days. Just jump in the chat rooms, come have conversations with us, with other traders. It's such a, we keep a very clean environment. No politics, no religion, unless we talk Greek politics. It's the only politics we can talk, and UK politics. I guess I should say, right, Ryan? So,
yeah.
Do you guys have a janitor? Because you keep the rooms real clean.
Applications. So
All right.
All right, guys. Hey, I want to welcome this new person that
Leo.
you're Leo, I want to welcome Leo to the F.A.C.E show. It's glad to have you here. And Steve, thank you so much for your comments today, your macro perspective. Ryan, always, as I told you in the chat room, I was listening to the Flow show and the recording as I was getting up this morning. It's always great to hear you. I guess K-Man's coming back sometime next week. Is that true?
Yeah, that's right. Should be hopefully back on Tuesday if he gets his internet up and running. And big props to you guys as well. Great analysis, great trading this week. It's all a team effort.
Yeah, all a team effort. Thank you.
You're the man.
Dale,
you're the man, Ryan.
Man, no, you're the man.
You're the man.
You're the man.
No, you're the man.
You're the man.
You were in the zone. So what? Trading in the Zone by Ryan, not Douglas. All right. So anyway, she's the man, Tony. Anyway, so yes, we have a new guest. Leo Hart is with us, and Leo, welcome to F.A.C.E. Leo specializes in Bitcoin. So what a great time to have someone who specializes in what's becoming parabolic here. So Leo, welcome to F.A.C.E. It's great to have you here.
Thank you very much, Dale. Thank you for your presentation, for this chance to be public. Actually, this is the first time I go public after I began to post about the indicator that I made. Thank you.
Oh, well, good. So we got your first foray into the public domain as far as interviews, huh? You haven't given any.
Exactly. Right. That's
All
correct.
right. All right. Well, why am I so lucky?
Sure. I don't know. You were first to offer me that the
Oh,
good
okay.
chance. Yeah.
All right. So, Leo, I've gave a brief introduction, and I've looked at your stuff, and you really, I could tell, are very hard worker, passionate. Math is in your handle. Um, is math in everything that you see, Leo? And I mean, the whole universe was created by a mathematician. What do you think?
Yeah. Please make some introduction, whatever, or ask me questions to start with, and
Okay.
we go
Well,
on.
why don't we start with how you got involved in the business? Tell us a little bit about your journey to having rainbow waves. So, tell us what you were doing. Have you always been in the markets? When did it start for you?
Yeah, it started in 2018. I got deep into the crypto world because I have to leave Russia and live out of the crypto world. And I began to
Okay.
learn Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, exchanges, the ICO market, everything about crypto. And then in 2019, I decided to make some analysis for myself, just trying to model the waves that I saw in Bitcoin, and doing it for myself. It was the first attempt in 2019, and after 4 years, definitely the first model was not that good. Also, it used the power law already, and in 2023, in August, I created a new model introducing the sinusoidal waves into the model. And
Okay.
it just turned to
So,
be so good and popular the last month. That's it.
okay. So it's interesting. I did write that down. I went through your stream and your website. Uh, can you share your screen with us? It's at the bottom, and
Right.
tell
Yeah.
us, sinusoidal bands that you have. To me, it's when I hear anything about sinus, I get a headache. Okay, but tell us what sinusoidals are.
Yeah, let me start with my site.
Okay.
This is the website I created just to present my research. These are the
Yeah.
first formulas I used. A little bit
Okay.
outdated, but this is the sine function already here.
Okay.
And the charts I created, and how I started presenting it in different places. And
The top one's a rainbow. That's what attracted me when I saw a post
right.
of yours.
Yeah, this is the rainbow. Yeah, exactly. And I added several features recently, but it's still the same.
Okay.
Yeah, trading view.
All right. So I know you've been long and right. The Ellioticians, some of them are saying that we're in a wave 5 in Bitcoin. If we're in a 5, that means that for this structure,
Right.
we're
Yeah, this is
going to
basically
terminate up here. Some, maybe 120. What's your work saying for Bitcoin view?
right now, well, the indicator works just from October 2009, the data available in TradingView. So, so I tried to model even this data in early stages, just before the first halving, which is here. Almost 3 pre-waves. So these are just auxiliary waves. They happen to be in the model, but I left them because the first two are definitely not important. But this one is a major one. So I count this as one. This is number 2 after the first halving, number 3 after the second halving, H 200%, after the fourth one, and now we're in the fifth wave. And well, the target that I foresee is just above 200,000, maybe 220 is the middle part, the mean, and
Wow.
the top part is probably 250. The lower part, the lower band is 180. So it's 180 to 250, with the mean $220,000. And the controversy is definitely in the timing. So because many people model the second top of the last cycle as the major one, and then just count 4 years after that, and they come to November. Well, I model the whole wave, including this upper part and lower part, just trying to find the best location, the best position for the top of the wave. It's kind of in the middle of the two tops, closer to the first one, and also the first one, on my view, is the stronger one because the deviation from the power law, which is the green line, is higher. And then I compute, I add not exactly 4 years, but like 47 months, because the timing between the halvings is like 47 months, 1,440 days approximately. And the top was closer to, in terms of blocks, I count 325%, close to this point, and this point in time next cycle will be around April 25, maybe a little earlier.
Okay.
So this definitely basically how I count blocks. I count them in percentages. When 100% is one halving. So 300% is halving number 3, and it was 1 quarter after the third halving. So I count 1 quarter after the fourth halving, and I estimate it to be in mid-April 25. So this is around time I expect at least the first top. There could be a second one possibly, but this should be the major one, I guess.
Do you look at Bitcoin as being a read on liquidity?
Equity or
liquidity?
Oh, well, yeah, definitely there are a lot of parameters influencing the price, and we see a lot of macro news coming out. But well, let me not right now comment this, because I consider, first of all, the chart, and I believe that all the parameters are embedded into the chart already.
Okay.
Liquidity issues, the news.
I agree with you. Yeah, that price is the final arbiter.
Right.
And that's all you need.
Right.
Do you believe, like, I know you follow Bitcoin, and I don't know if you've experimented, and you're a good case study for you don't have to be in 20 different markets. All you need is to be right in one, right? I mean, I saw guys on the floor never leave the cattle pit.
Yeah.
Or the currency pit. They knew that market like the back of their hand. Are you a purist and this is all you trade is Bitcoin?
No, I trade more, but for the analysis point of view, I believe that Bitcoin is the core, and it just defines all other crypto markets. We need to start from Bitcoin and then develop it to.
So you do trade altcoins too?
Yeah. Yes, I do. Yes.
Okay. All right. Any of the what do they call that? Legacy markets like iTrade, like equities and.
No, that's what I don't trade, because I don't trade on fiat exchanges, basically.
Okay. All right. So can I ask you about a few things that I think are more esoteric and
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, because I think we've got the handle that this move we're only halfway through it. You're very bullish into April of next year of 26, so that's 2 years, a year and a half. I was interested in what do you mean? And it's almost like this is kind of the spiritual side of your work. math of the soul. What is math of the soul, Leo?
Math of the heart, possibly. Yeah, there is a there is a good institution which is called Heart Math Institute, and it explains the mathematics of the heart, because the heart is the source of electromagnetic field of the human, and since I study heart for many decades, and I know that our consciousness is very much connected to the heart, and it's functioning in terms of electromagnetic fields.
Okay.
Well, that's the basic theory I use, and all the rest is just experience, the personal experience in learning this and understanding. I found for myself that to make scientific discoveries, to utilize memory and fast thinking, fast reading, fast learning languages, the heart works very well for that. Like the part of the thinking process, just in addition to the brain and heart work together. That's my philosophy.
Okay. So you gave a new meaning to follow your heart, or
Yeah,
let it lead, or let it lead you.
Absolutely. This is a spiritual meaning of following the heart, and also the consciousness meaning, because to myself, it's just to think fast, to make decisions fast, just using intuition in many cases.
Yeah, intuition,
Yeah,
which is an innate thing. It's don't you think it's something that people either have or everyone has it, but they don't know how to tune into it because there's too much distraction and noise in their life.
Right, you are right. Everybody can utilize this, and also there are a lot of distractions and difficulties because any stress, any mental processes or strong emotions, they kind of distract people from intuition, from being centered in the heart and making intuitive decisions.
What is Contacts of the Fourth Kind?
Fourth kind of.
Is that a sequel to Close Encounters of the Third Kind?
Oh yeah, that's what you're talking about. Yeah, definitely. I like even the Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind, which Dr. Greer suggests just to directly contact the aliens, and he has a procedure and protocols for this.
Interesting. So what is it?
Well, what Dr. Greer suggests is to meditate on the nature and be ready to contact and use the laser pointers just to show the presence and interact with the spacecraft, which we already have. And the recent hearings in the Senate, that they confirm this.
Okay. All right. So you think it's going the paradigm shift? We're going to have it and finally learn about other beings.
Sure, absolutely.
Besides ourselves in our.
It's a must. We need to learn how to contact the advanced civilizations, and the telepathy and the heart communication is the core, because all the civilizations, they communicate within the heart. That's what I learned during my meditations, and well, I'm constantly developing the skills and in the course.
And you know, in what the Western world, it's almost like follow your head and ignore your heart for whatever the goal is. It could be financial, whatever. It's the heart is emotional and therefore irrational. So how can you let that be your guide in life? You know, people's goals are to limit or at least control that type of emotional behavior.
Right. I think it's an old paradigm, and because it's the thinking in the mind. As a mathematician, I began to think in the mind, definitely, and all my colleagues, they still there. And but to me, being in the field of the computational mathematics, also in the Olympiads, I used to compete in international mathematical Olympiads. The speed thinking was very important. Just thinking very fast, and I need to process much more information than normal people do. And using hard helped me so much that it was like a degree of the amount of information and the speed of processing. All the person, all they need just to balance emotions and thoughts. If the emotions and thoughts combine together, they produce the feelings and the intuitive knowledge. And the heart operates with this intuitive knowledge, which combines both emotions and the mental thoughts.
Okay.
In this balance, the intuitive thinking just emerges, and person begins to use it.
Okay. I've talked to legendary guys, and I think you're about to become one in the next couple of years. I'm glad I met you before you became famous, Leo. Anyway, they always look at the other side of the coin. Is there any kind of bear case that you could come up with in Bitcoin
Long
that
term or
would
short term?
either okay, the challenge would probably be long term. Let's say we have a liquidity crisis and the bull market ends in stocks and people have to raise cash. How do you think Bitcoin would hold up during a liquidity crisis where people sell the kitchen sink to raise cash? What do you think?
Well, I think we have the whole world right now trading together Bitcoin. So the liquidity crisis in one part of the world doesn't mean the liquidity crisis in the other part of the world.
Okay.
And also,
okay.
This crisis, usually they happens during the bear market of cryptocurrencies, somehow coincidentally. So I expect that this kind of crisis can be combined or in time.
Okay, so maybe that's going to be April 2025.
Yeah,
could be the
something
high in
from
stocks as well.
From here to here, or maybe a little bit later. It's also possible, but somehow they play together. The markets and the crypto markets, right now they already play together.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
That's why I say it's at times that it is liquidity driven.
Right.
And if we didn't have the speculative element in a lot of different markets, we would not have attained price levels, right?
Sure.
Okay, so what's your advice to people that want to get involved in Bitcoin and they're novices, and not just to trade? Are you also a believer in having possession in a wallet and keeping your Bitcoins off exchanges?
Yeah, I'm definitely recommend to learn some simple cold wallets techniques, how to store it, and understand the difference between Bitcoin on the centralized exchanges and on the wallets, cold wallets, and decentralized exchanges, and no KYC exchanges. That's what people need to learn just to understand how Bitcoin differs from the regular money, the controlled money.
Okay, so because I think I read in your stream that there are certain exchanges that are part of the surveillance state.
Yeah.
Okay, and not that they don't know. Do you think that the surveillance state doesn't know who has Bitcoin?
They try to know it, but well, the technology within Bitcoiners so well developed that anonymity and this coin join technology, different wallets, different techniques to keep the anonymity, they are so advanced that nobody can catch it up.
Okay. All right. So really, was a pleasure. Do you have a business model, Leo, where you teach where you teach and you know, broaden people's outlooks besides just having a candlestick chart or a bar chart and a momentum indicator? So what do you do with your website? Do you
Well,
have a
thank you
have a
for
letter?
Yeah, thank you
Yeah.
for asking. But right now, don't really have a clear business model to
Okay.
join. Please keep learning. Add this indicator to your strategies. It's open source.
Okay.
And you can even see the source of the indicator right now. I can show it to you. And I will cooperate with other people in the field. And talking to Giovanni, we became friends again after some initial arguing, but still.
So, well, that's how you make friends. When I was a kid in grammar school, you get in a fight with someone, they'd be your best friend the same day.
Absolutely, yeah, it's a good point for us. Yeah.
What you want to wrap it with? What the Satoshi meter is?
Just found it yesterday. It's no affiliate. I just found a good indicator and promoted it without any partnerships. Yeah.
I tell you what, it was great to talk to somebody who comes from the heart in the financial industry. That's quite different than, you know, most people come from their wallets, not from their heart. So Leo, really a pleasure talking to you, and everyone can follow Leo and should, if you want to learn what his life's work is really what he's bringing to the table. You could follow him on X at Leo Math Heart and go to his website and check it out, and keep an open mind. It'll keep your account open.
Thank you very much, Dale, for your introduction, this kind interview, and the possibility to present myself and to be open to the public.
Oh, thank you for coming on. You're now my trading warrior brother.
Sure.
Is that okay, bro?
Yeah.
All right. Leo Hart, everybody. Check Leo out. I can tell in 5 minutes if somebody is dedicated to their work and their life's work. And he has no axe to grind. He's sharing knowledge, and appreciate your giving spirit, Leo. It's I'm glad our paths crossed.
All right.
We'll do this again.
Sure.
All right. Leo Hart, everybody. Have a great weekend, Leo. So you're expecting the high in April of 2025 or 2026?
Yeah, that's for now. Yeah.
2025.
25.
Okay. All
months.
right. That's interesting you bring that up because, you know, I know there are some cycles due in other markets next April. Okay. That's when the sugar high comes out of the economy. Appreciate you being here. Have a great weekend, and we'll talk in about 3-4 months. I'll put you in the rotation. You're on the team, man. Okay, Leo.
Goodbye.
Take it easy. So that's a wrap, everyone. Have a great weekend. Could join the team in a few minutes on the Morning Edge. Did you guys like Leo? Humble. Yeah. Shabbat Shalom, Amira. Yeah. Anyway, so April next year, Saloom liked him. You know, Saloom, that's when some equity cycles are due. The same. All right, guys, have a great weekend. Don't just count your pips, count your blessings. And after seeing Leo, follow your heart. You too, Laura. Follow your heart. Saloom. Follow your heart. Sinatra, follow your heart. All right, everyone. Have a great weekend. Adios. I know you do, because you follow me around. All right, I'll see you.